Testing one, two, three. All right.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the Baudelaire Book Club.
We did not discuss.
No,
We did not discuss that.
no.
I
I
would've
got
said it
I
the
got
same
one
time.
bit. So
You
sorry.
got frisky. I did not approve any friskiness today.
Hey, I'm gonna say I took the plunge, right?
Mhm.
Ugh, it's a fun time.
Mhm.
This
For you,
is
maybe.
it is, of course. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Kale. I like a book, just the one,
A single book. Mm-hmm.
just a single book. It's not even the series of unfortunate events, actually.
Oh, I think I know which one it is.
Yeah, which one do you
Is
think
it
it is?
Twilight?
It is
Yeah,
Twilight.
because you have your dissertation that you've written, right?
Yeah, my fucking 41-page screed.
41 pages.
Last time I checked, it could be up to 42 now. Um,
Yeah.
it's long
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
because I see stuff about Twilight and then I get mad and then I go and I write it down and I'm like, I'm mad about this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
so it just keeps
yeah.
getting
You just
longer.
write it down. Yeah. I guess I do. Like I can see that. I understand. I see
Mm-hmm.
you.
Because otherwise I'm gonna start fights on TikTok and I don't want I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to start fights about Jacob Black on
You're
TikTok.
like
I don't
Team
care.
Jacob was fucking trash. Now, like, I
Let's
swear to
let's be
God.
clear. I care so much about Twilight. Not enough to start a fight online.
Not yet.
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
I haven't gotten that mad yet.
Ooh, hey, yo. Hell yeah. Well, thank you so much, Kale, for joining me. My
Yeah,
name
thank you
is.
for having me.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, I can't do it without you. Your name's on it. I put your name on it, so now you have to help. I
Yeah, you
trapped
put
you.
it first. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. Actually, I did. So
Yeah, it's there. I'm looking at it.
good. Oh, great. That's great, Moxie. I love that for you. Hello, welcome in. Oh, there you are.
Hi,
You came in.
Moxie.
So, today, talking about the Mighty Zodiac Rex. Welcome to Baudelaire Book Club, a fun over the summer book club that Kayla and I started as a joke, but I don't think we're joking anymore. So,
When I was never joking.
well, no, well, it was the like we couldn't just do a summer book club, could we?
Oh, about summer book club. We'll see.
I mean, that we said we would do that, and then we just did, which is kind of really funny. Like, it's like, oh,
We
what if we did? That would be so crazy.
yeah, we have like half the series left, and we have what, August?
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
Well, summer for Arizona goes until October at least. So,
Hmm. I see.
well, like, and that's just it too. It's like, so, like,
What
depending on this
happens?
next week, we might be pumping up these numbers. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Uh, but either way, what started as a summer book club, it is just turning into book club as
Summer
a
is a state of mind.
correct.
Mhm.
We have the Ersatz Elevator, book number 6 in the series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket, where the kids have a real fun time at a nice building. Right, Kale?
No.
You want to tell them about it?
Yeah. Go
Uh,
ahead and switch the slides.
there you go.
This is the summary part of the book club. Is everyone ready? Take notes. There will be a quiz at the end of this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Baudelaire orphans are sent to live with Jerome and Esme Squalor, who were apparently like close friends with their recently deceased parents. And they could not take them in
Mm-hmm.
for because orphans were not fashionable at the time, and now they are fashionable. I do have a bobby pin. Hold on. I'm derailing because my hair's been bothering me.
You have a
And I
Robert
found a
pin?
bobby pin. Yeah, I found my Robert pin. I knew I had one over here. Thank you for entertaining that diversion. Back to the
It
summary.
was really good because it took me a second. I was like, you really got me good on it. I thought it was very clever.
Oh, the Robert pin?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a bobby pin for people in chat who are maybe
Mhm.
a little.
I just saw that movie.
Yeah, and you wrote a whole video about it.
Yeah.
You
Bobby.
found God in the bobber pin.
Yeah, it did. See.
Okay, so the children are taken in by Jerome and Esme Squalor, who were apparently close friends of their late parents. Esme is a banker who cares a lot about what is in and what is out, what is fashionable, what is unfashionable. Um, and she lives in a penthouse apartment on the top of 66 floors, which the children have to climb up and down anytime they want to leave or enter the apartment because elevators are out, meaning unfashionable, so they're not allowed to use the elevators that are in the apartment building. And no other reason.
Stairs are
no
in.
other reason. Soon after moving in with Jerome and Esme, Count Olaf shows up posing as a foreign auctioneer, helping Esme with the upcoming inn auction. The children are ignored basically when they try to tell Esme and Jerome about Olaf, as they are every time. There's a lot of confusion about where Olaf is and where he's hiding because Esme claims that he has left the apartment, but the doorman claims that Olaf has never hasn't exited the building. So we know that he is somewhere in the building, if not in the apartment. So the children go looking for Olaf and they do not find him. Instead, they go exploring an elevator shaft and they find the Quagmire triplets, who we all remember from the last book.
They better.
And they're locked in a cage at the bottom of this dark elevator shaft. The Baudelaire children try to save their friends and they fail. And then they are trapped themselves in the elevator shaft, but by Esme. And we learn that Esme and Olaf are working together. The children manage to escape, but they fail to save the Quagmire triplets, and Count Olaf and Esme make their escape together and get away. The end.
Oh, that was great. Thank you so much, Kale, for that excellent summary. That's basically what happened.
Yeah, that's what a summary is.
It was great. Oh yeah, I'm very happy. That was one hell of a fucking summary. I'm very yeah, it was good. Not doing a bit.
It's long. It's the longest one so far, just by how much paper it took me to write.
Oh really? I mean, it sounded great.
Yeah.
It was really, really good.
Thank you.
And I have an idea for that, so I'm gonna write that down, and we'll come up. I have an idea. We're doing crazy stuff today, as always. Not today, but in general. Okay.
Today's a state of mind.
That's right. Time is a state of mind.
Yeah.
So
I remember everything. Good job, Moxie. Good job on remembering.
I love that for you, Moxie.
Yeah.
So, the way that we decided to structure today's video, or decide to try it, is that we'll go through Kale's notes that Kale had taken and talk about anything that cool came up, including your really cool fucking cover, which I was glad I could find. Right?
Yeah.
That's yours.
Yes, it's the UK version of the books.
Oh.
Have the different cover, which I finally figured out why it's different.
Oh yeah, it's kind of a spoiler, actually.
Yeah, it so the front of the cover, as you can all see, it depicts Esme throwing the kids down the elevator shaft, which was a twist in the book because up until this moment it was well, Esme's kind of a shitty guardian, but that's about it. And this is where it's revealed that she's truly evil, and the cover just kind of gives it all away.
Yeah. Well, she's. Do you think she was evil the whole time?
Well, she was evil the whole time, but we just didn't know it until she threw children down an elevator shaft.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. She seemed much more she's a shitty person, but
right.
She's clearly a self-centered, she thinks she's hot, she married a guy for his money, clearly, you kind of, you don't want to judge her, but at the same time, okay. And then she's got the worst taste imaginable.
Right. it's not a twist in the sense of like, but Esme, what do you mean you're evil? You were such a like a kind and caring person. Like it's not, I don't think anyone was surprised that Esme is like even worse than we could have imagined,
Okay.
but it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's a surprise that she's working with Olaf.
It really is. It's a fun, very fun twist to the book for me. Like, I'm especially remembering it again because I'm like, when is the shoe gonna drop?
Right. Like reading this again, I was like, I know Esme is like at some point in later on in the books like refers to herself as Count Olaf's girlfriend. So like,
Ooh, yeah.
mm-hmm.
I forgot about that.
When do we get to that?
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, in the discussion at the very least, I figure after we go after our notes, any of those fun things, because like I do want to dive into like their dynamic because I find Jerome to be such a
Right.
fascinating character. He's like he
Yeah.
might be worse than Poe.
Fucking okay, we'll get to Jerome.
Uh huh.
So these are just some fun little quotes from the books. You may. So Mr. Poe is now the vice president of orphan affairs, and I think that's so goddamn funny because it's literally his job to take care of these kids now, as he is the vice president of orphan affairs, and he still treats them like an afterthought, like a pain in the ass. And
Oh
also that implies that there's a president of orphan affairs, and why haven't we ever seen the president of orphan affairs, huh?
yeah. What's going on? What's happening? It almost sounds like, or it makes me think of that kind of corporate thing where like well they just kind of keep like you're moving and you're promoting but you're kind of just making new
Yeah.
positions based on what's been happening with you so
Yeah,
that you can
he's the
justify a
executive.
rage but like it's very silly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very fun. I don't know, it's also a nice little commentary on just like the bullshit of corporate culture. Like he does nothing yet continues to be promoted because it's like well he's
Right.
been able to rehome them 6 times. It's like why hasn't he gotten them a safe home?
Yeah. It's like he's doing his job well.
In a bureaucratic sense, sure.
Right.
Speaking of.
Um, and then we have a quote from Esme where she says, "If we give money to poor people, then they won't be poor anymore." Which, yeah,
Mhm.
I guess that's true. This is in reference to the fact that she's holding a charity auction, and when the children are like, "Well, what charities are going to?" And or it's like all the money will be donated to a worthy cause, and they're
Yeah.
like,
Hmm.
what's the worthy cause?" And she's like, "Giving me money." And I think it's Jerome who's like, "We already have so much money." And the kids are like, "You could give it to poor people." And she's like, "No, because then they wouldn't be poor anymore." Which I
But
guess
like,
is true. She didn't lie. That's
no,
if
she
you give
didn't.
money to
But
poor people, they won't be poor anymore.
yeah, but like, there's a lot of that
She's
like implication, of
she's
like,
truthful, but also like wrong. You know what I mean?
yeah, it is a very shitty outlook to like. It's very shitty to just unabashedly like feel that way. That
It's
like,
greedy.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's absolute greed. It's that like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I'm only rich because there are poor. Like because there are people to
Right.
subjugate, that gives me the power, which goes into
I'm
the power
only
class dynamic.
I'm only better than people because there's people to be better than. If they're yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like you have to create your own problem. It's like, well, wouldn't it
Yeah.
like help if you redistributed that wealth and help invest in the communities so that other people could like participate? It's like no, pinstripes are
No.
in
I want all of the money.
all of
And I
it.
want parsley soda. Yeah.
Parsley soda. It's
Okay.
very good. Okay, so
I thought the Salmonella Cafe was very silly, very funny. Just a quick that made me gag. That made me laugh. Um,
it was very. I liked. It took me a second when I was listening to it. I was at the park, and I was just like, I had to go back. I'm like, did he say salmonella? Because I was like, it'd be really funny if
mhm.
it was if a fish place named Salmonella Cafe, and it was, and I was like,
It's funny. Hmm.
oh
Odie, when did you tell me there was a king of Arizona?
God, I know. I would have thought. I wish there
Yeah.
was, but I actually wonder. It's funny when I saw that you had written that, and when I thought of King of Arizona, is the evidence that Jerome's being played a fool by Esme is
Yeah.
so obvious when like there is no King of Arizona, but he doesn't want to fight.
Yeah.
We can't get into him yet, but like God damn, because we'll go off. I'll go off for an hour about him. I hate him.
Right. We will.
But it's very
then,
funny that she just lies.
yeah, that she's just like, yeah, I'm meeting with the King of Arizona and not my boyfriend that I'm cheating on you with.
Yeah, Gunther.
Gunther.
Mm-hmm.
I correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is the first time we've seen the devil's tongue knot.
It's the first time it's explained, but I do believe that Violet says she uses it in book 1.
Oh yeah, to make she
Or she used it in like when she did that in book 1, she did that knot.
Yeah.
I don't think that they mentioned it was the devil's tongue knot in book 1.
I'm so excited because this is something that is like all throughout the books, and it's
What's it look
yeah, we're gonna. I don't know. I think it's made up. I could be wrong. Oh, is it real? They say tutorial. No, because those are drawings from the book. Um,
Oh,
go to
is
images
it?
maybe? That one looks like Among Us.
Mugas?
Yeah, Mogus.
Yeah, it kind of seems like it's I mean, I guess that's what what it looks like. It's just a little,
Just a little knot.
yeah, a little knot, which like works. I don't really know. It doesn't seem like it's going to
It
get us
doesn't
what we want.
matter.
No,
That's
but
fine.
it's still very cool.
Yeah.
Nonetheless.
And so I don't know if you've listened to the Magnus archives.
Oh.
You skipped my notes, you son of
No,
a
I haven't.
bitch. Okay. It's like a horror podcast. It's good. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the episodes called Lost John's Cave, has the exact same feeling as when it's described that the kids are like going down the elevator shaft, where it's just that kind of like the visceral horror of like being alone in the darkness.
Like the fact that you've been falling for so long in the darkness too, like you lose track of time. It's like, where am I?
So,
Ooh.
if anyone in chat, like it looks like it, but read the Magnus archives, it's that vibe. And then question.
These were just from the bullet notes that Kayla took, and mine are the ones that I had taken. Because like now that we've been talking, I have like more points to make, which I think is good. So
do I, because I still did. I told you I had 2 that I like forgot to put on.
Yeah. So just don't feel limited by the slides. It's just a matter of like, well, we get all this out, then we have room for the good.
Mm-hmm.
So you had a question.
I did have a question because I don't remember. Esme in this book is like, this is in revenge for what Beatrice, who's presumably the Baudelaire's mother, did to me.
Yeah. Do you have any idea? Like, what do you think it is?
I don't remember.
If you had to take a guess.
Probably money shit, because Esme is so greedy.
Okay. So it's funny because my question is very similar. And I actually looked it up on the wiki, and the answer I will share after my question, so that way we get to see the both little possibilities. A little bit. I gotta get you hooked. I gotta get you excited to listen to me ramble.
Because if I'm not excited, I'll just leave halfway through.
Yeah. Just boop. I'm giving you the out. You're welcome.
Yeah. And this is just,
it was a great take.
Attributed a quote to me. Yeah.
It was one of your notes, and I just thought it would be funny to frame it. It's just
this book and this series in general has such diversity in shitty guardians, and I think that's really important to demonstrate that like a parent can, like, I think in the end of the book they're like, a guardian is supposed to like put a roof over your head, give you food, give you clothes, and in the end that's all Jerome did. He wasn't there to like protect the kids. He wasn't there to like raise them, nurture them, give them safety.
Well, he wouldn't want to argue.
He didn't want to argue.
No, he didn't want to argue. When you don't want to argue. He didn't want to argue.
his wife leaves him for another man, and he goes, "Well, I guess if that's what she wants, I wouldn't want to argue." And it's like, Jesus, man, grow a fucking backbone.
It's free. You could just download it,
You
and
can
then you
you can
just
stand up for yourself
you go.
anytime.
Actually, I am busy, and then just
Actually,
I'm not
I'm a
saying
little
hit her,
upset.
but just like you gotta hit her with like a good 1-2 verbal spar.
I say hit her.
I mean, honestly, Renesmee.
Like,
Renesmee looks, or not Renesmee. Oh my God, Renesmee. I got Twilight on the brain.
Renesmee, Twilight. Talk
Esme
about
Squaller
Renesmee.
absolutely has been in a fight before. I feel like
Oh,
she,
for sure.
like,
Oh, for sure. She's the
she
kind of
plays
bitch
dirty.
she like pops off her press-on nails before getting to a fight, and you're like, oh, that's scary. Ooh.
Oh yeah, she rips them off, no problem. Just like
Yeah,
whatever.
she bites him off. She's
Oh.
crazy.
Whew.
Yeah. She's nasty. I don't like her.
She's a little nasty. She's a little nasty lady. So
Tell me about your notes.
yeah, my notes. So I have the like the book series was like the American version with the it's like a red pinkish color, which is very salmon for the salmon and other redfish. The salmon and the cat. Yeah. Oh, oof. So a couple of quotes that I found very particularly funny, especially since I believe Tim Curry does the audiobook in the UK. Like that was the audiobook I was listening to, so it was very it was very well acted. But to hear a British man go, despite the maturity of her mouth, she only had 4 teeth, and I'm just like, excuse me, what?
It's a kind of fucked up thing to say, yeah.
I'm sitting out here outside of this Mexican restaurant battling the gym inside, and I'm having to hear about this. What's going on? I can't tab out. I can't go back. I had to like just process that. That was very funny. Just a little silly. I also thought the poor people quote was really funny. So
It's really good. It's good.
if we give them all our money, then we won't have as much money.
Ooh.
Okay. Oh no.
Oh no, my money.
Oh no, I hope I don't run out of money. Oh, this one I actually have, like it actually really stuck out to me, but when Violet, Sunny, and Clouds are sitting at the top of the elevator shaft, when they're going to go down because they need to find out what's at the bottom of the Ersatz elevator, finding out it's Duncan and Isadora in a cage. They're like, well, if we don't go now, like if we wait until we're ready, we'll be waiting until like the rest of our lives. So let's go now. Like Violet's just like, we're just going, and they say fuck it and go for it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
they right. That was
That's
good.
like an actually like really good quote. Not like good as in like funny, but like just like impactful.
I genuinely, since reading it, like have applied it in my own life like a handful of times.
Yeah.
Because I'm that bitch.
It's a very brave way of thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because then it's like it acknowledges the fear of like when are we going to be ready? And it's like if we're going to wait till we're ready, there's always going to be something. So do we
Right.
want to wait an hour and stress out, or just do it now?
Or like if you're afraid, you'll always come up with an excuse to not do it. Or even like anxious, not even like afraid.
Mm-hmm.
So it's better to just like not give yourself the space to make an excuse.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, yeah, it pretty much like you're going to spend all that time making up excuses, finding a new thing, just being stressed about it, and like you're just going to choose to spend all that energy. You could just do it now and save all of that energy. It's yeah, and I love it. So I thought it was really, really good. And this everything is insane. The level of this house, or like this penthouse, does not make sense for the amount of rooms it has for how big the building is, but don't care. I thought there was a really funny Marie Antoinette reference when they were listening to all of the different hotel rooms, when they were doing some snooping, or not hotel rooms, but all the different apartments. And like there was one where it was like something about like, you know, let them be cake, you know, about the commoners or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I see you. That's
It's
good.
funny.
Jerome, VFD, Beatrice, lots of good information here. The things that I remember are that It seems like Jerome was just friends with Beatrice, from what I gathered, ultimately, because like talked about how like they went out, like they were like hiking on some mountain for some work. Like
Yeah.
he's a volunteer, from what we understand. Um, which is also like, why are they not vigilant? I don't understand.
Yeah, where it's like, I don't know, if like Jerome as a VFD member,
Hey, Master Queef
like,
420. He said I
yeah,
wouldn't say it, so I'm gonna say it. Anyway,
well, yeah.
my bad.
Um, threw me off my train of thought.
I'm so sorry.
Like, if Jerome is in VFD and Connell is such a fucking pain in the ass to VFD, like, you think he'd be a little bit more vigilant, but like, he doesn't want to argue.
This one argue.
He
Ooh,
doesn't want to argue.
this one argue. It makes me wonder if the organization of VFD is not as big as
Mm-hmm.
like the books make them out to be. It almost starts to feel like it is like it is a big group of people, but it's all like not it's tangential to the people we already know, the named people.
Right. I
So
get what you mean.
yeah, uh, and like it's just like I guess he just fools them, or maybe it's that comfort of like whatever since the schism, they just assumed they won, so they just rest on their laurels. Like,
Yeah.
why would it be? Or maybe that since the Baudelaires, if they were like the ringleaders, now that they're dead, like, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were
Yeah.
the heavy pieces. So lots of like good, interesting information there. We get the very fancy
Yeah.
doilies
Mm-hmm.
and
The
the red herring
yeah.
of the thing. The Finnish female pirates was my note that I took because you had told me there was one thing that you would remember, and I was like, "Is this it? Is it the thing?"
It's not. Yeah, I haven't revealed it yet. I'm still.
Oh, okay, so you have
Oh, what? No, I didn't put it in my notes. It's one of the two things I forgot.
it. Oh, okay, cool. So this was my guess, just for what it's worth. So that
Okay.
was my guess. Like, was the Finnish female
For
pirates?
context, for chat, I texted Odie when I was when I was reading the book, and I was like, there was a part in this book that made me scream out loud, and I meant that. I screamed out loud while reading this book, and I've been making him guess, and you have not gotten it.
I haven't yet. Ooh. Well, I'll be
No.
curious then.
I feel like you'll be disappointed, but we'll get there. It's
Hey,
fine.
well, you don't know that. We'll see. I'll find out. The secret hallway to the Baudelaire mansion, fucking cool. What does that
Very
mean?
cool.
I have no
Very
idea.
weird. Another piece of the puzzle.
I'll put it together. It's like it really makes it start to seem like did Count Olaf and Renesmee hatch a scheme to just
Esme.
or
You keep
Esme?
calling her
My
Renesmee.
God, I can't. I can't stop.
If
I
there was a
can't stop.
character named Renesmee in this book, I would never shut up about it.
Um,
So funny.
wait, you would never what?
Shut up
Sorry.
about it.
Oh, about
It'd
the
be the
secret
only thing
hallway.
I'd talk about. No, about a character named Renesmee in this book.
Oh, got you. I got you. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I gotta stop saying it. I'm trying really hard not to. My dad texted me and he's like asking about the difference between Xboxes, and I'm like,
You're
Dad, you know I'm
distracted. I
live
get it.
recording. I don't got time. So there we go. I I don't know if I like chose to think it. I think it's just because of Twilight now. Gosh dang it.
Mm-hmm. We'll have to do a Twilight book club. No.
Would you want to do Twilight next? Because I haven't read Twilight in a long time. I read it in high school.
um, I don't know if that would be great because I'll show chat my copies of Twilight. They are heavily annotated and like
I think that's a great
um
idea, Kale.
okay.
We might have to
Um
do it like in chapter
it'd have to be
chunks.
chapter by chapter, yeah, because the books
Yeah.
are a little bit longer than this. And I have so much to say about everything. I don't know. I feel like it would be very hard for me to like dissect my thoughts into chapter by chapter chunks because I don't know if chat knows this about me. I fucking love Twilight. Um, I have my framed copy of the actor who plays Alice Cullen. I got her autograph, and it's looking at me right now. I love Twilight so much. I have so much to say.
Hey, would you like? I have an idea for a future like collaboration. Would you be interested? I can give you more
Sure.
information.
We'll talk about it.
No, I
We'll
want to talk
talk
about.
about it.
You guess what? Because people are hyped. They would love that.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do after like once we're done with this, it's the Twilight Book Club, but it's the
Maybe.
yeah we're reading 5 chapters, but you are explaining everything like
Listen to Kale talk about Twilight for 6 hours.
because I don't remember shit,
Callisto,
but I want to hear
Callisto,
you
I
go.
also unironically love Twilight. It's I have a lot to say about it. Okay, anyways, finish your notes
Okay,
on
good.
this book that we're reading
Yes.
and that we love.
Got it. The red herring. God damn it. So I think about red herrings all the time. And it's because of this fucking book. Because this book
Yeah.
broke my heart when I was a kid. Because I thought it was in. I thought they fucking cracked it. Because for the first time, they actually were like on it. They fucking knew.
Right. They saw the very fancy doilies, the VFD, and they thought, we
Yeah.
got this. We know this.
It's
And
almost
they were
as
in the
if
red herring.
they were in the red herring. They were in the red herring statue where, like, if you're like, I remember listening to it, they're like, yeah, large enough that you could sleep comfortably inside. Like, they make it very obvious that it's there. It's like, there's no way that's it. And it's like, that's the point. That's the whole joke.
Yeah.
It's a whole visual joke.
It's a whole gag.
It's a whole good
They have
gag.
they have the statue in the book. I didn't include the picture of it in my things. Well, now of course I can't find it. There's a
Well, I'll
picture.
pull it up. I'll pull it up during the discussion. My question that I kind of like was curious about, like, got me thinking was like, did Esme love Mr. Baudelaire, and that's why like she kind of hated
Mm-hmm.
her unreasonably? With my takeaway being this fucking book, the goddamn red herring son of a bitch, Lemony, you got me. Because he got me again. I forgot they were in the red herring, and it pissed me off, and I figured it out, and then I was just like watching this train crash. It was terrible.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Would you like to know why Esme is
Tell me.
angry?
Tell me. Is it over the sugar bowl?
Beatrice stole her sugar bowl.
Yes. Okay.
And what that means, I think it's what we're going to hopefully one day figure out. Because, like, I don't remember, I could not, I never had all of the books as a kid to, like, piece it all together. It was always, like, one at a time. So it's very fun.
I think I read all of the books as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you.
I didn't tell you. I won't tell you.
I have no memories of book 12, so that'll be a trip for me.
Okay. The end.
Anything could happen in book 12, and I just couldn't tell you.
Penultimate peril.
Penultimate. Yeah. So, we didn't go over this in my notes section. Violet, there's this moment in the books where they meet the Quagmire triplets in the cage, and I think it's Duncan is like, let us just tell you the secret of VFD in case something happens. And Violet goes, no, nothing's gonna happen this time. You're gonna be fine this time. Tell us later. It's fine. And I'm so goddamn pissed. It's like, Violet, you're smarter than this. So she's getting fifth out of spite.
I agree. Although, for me, it was more of I put Klaus and Violet in 4th and 5th because they should have been smarter, not fallen for VFD because I fell for it.
That feels a little spiteful, but okay.
Yeah, it is. Like,
it's your ranking.
Yeah, well, because I don't know. It's just that like you guys heard. I mean, they're kids. They're not thinking anything of it. It's like, well, VFD. It makes complete sense. But the whole hey about your parents. Oh no, that was in the last one. Your parents in the fire. Yeah. But the fact that we did get to see Duncan and Isadora and their spirits weren't fully broken and they were like reignited by seeing the Baudelaires.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was big for confidence. Sorry.
No, it's okay. You cut out for a second, so I didn't hear everything you said.
Oh, okay. No, I just thought it was interesting. The like there was definitely a really good impact, I think, on, even though they kind of like don't talk for too long. It's a relatively short scene that the Quagmires are in for when they're talking. They end up just like going down all the way down to the bottom of the elevator shaft because there's a fake elevator shaft, or not a fake one, but there's the second one, and there's a cage at the bottom with the kids in there. And the siblings had never thought of any, like, they didn't think they were going to see these guys again. And the fact of all people, they were here. It's one of those, like, the kids decided on their own, like, we need to do action. Like, they got very minimal, like, they didn't even bother with Gunther. Like, they, like, tried once and they were like, okay, we're not going to keep trying this 8 times. Yeah. Like, that never works. So we just have to start, like, figuring stuff out. And so it was very cool to see the kids be proactive. But again, they fucked up and they were wrong. And so I'm sorry, but they weren't as good orphans.
They weren't as good orphans. I think my ranking is going to be Sunny number 1, Klaus number 2, Duncan number 3, Isadora number 4. Because as great as the Quagmires are, they're still in a cage. They're still in a cage. They don't
that's right. Much. What had you said your order was?
Klaus number 2, Duncan number 3, and then Isadora number 4.
Okay. That's probably more accurate.
Yeah.
I'm being mean to Klaus.
Before we go to chat Q&A.
Yeah. No. Yeah, we can park here. Yeah. I was just moving to the next slide.
So you listened to the audiobook, right? For this one?
Yes.
Did you look at the book at all?
So no, I didn't. Is it the part that I'm thinking? Is it the 2 pages?
It's so 2 of the pages are just completely pitch black.
Yes. Go off about it. That's why I didn't catch it.
Cool. I love this detail so much. So like the kids are descending in this elevator shaft. It's completely pitch black, which is why I'm dressed like this. And no other reasons. Definitely not because this is what my entire wardrobe looks like. Anyways. So the author describes it and he's like, there aren't enough words to describe what it looks like. What this complete, consuming, oppressive, black nothingness looks like. And so there's just 2 pages in the book of just black,
Let's see if I can pull mine up.
Just like a picture. And that's so cool. That's so neat. You don't see stuff like this in every book. It's so cool. I love these books so much.
Very creative with the space on the, like, it hit different. Yeah. It hit different reading it. And, like, I'm realizing now the part when I was listening to it where it would have been, but he doesn't do a pause or anything. So, or maybe he did and I was just running, so I didn't pay attention.
In my copy, it's pages 182 and 183. I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, no, I found him in mine, like in the actual paper, but now I'm kind of curious. 183.
Excellent. And then the other thing, the part that made me scream out loud. So reading this book, I remembered that the orphans went down the elevator shaft. I didn't remember what they found at the bottom of it.
Oh, so yeah.
When they found the cage with the Quagmire triplets in it, I screamed. I was like, oh my God. This is where they are, because I didn't remember that they found the Quagmire triplets down there, and it was so shocking and jarring, and I felt things.
It was like, oh shit, like still getting surprised, like there's still things like you get wrapped up in the story.
It's been years too since I've read these books, so yeah, I don't remember everything.
It's so fun to like figure the puzzles out and to see like like I myself remember, I think I had the same kind of aha moment. I was like, oh shit, there we are at the bottom. But not nearly like as like profound. And I feel bad because I'm like, damn it, like I was like, oh yeah, that's right, they're at the bottom. And then I was like, wait, why did I think, and I my original thought was I was like, oh yeah, they're on a mountain. I'm like, that's the slippery slope. Baby. Yeah. I'm like, that's no worries. We'll see them in a few books. If ignoring that we see them in the books between.
Yeah.
It's so clever.
Because I remembered, I was like, I know I was like, the orphans somehow get sold at the auction, and I was like, that's not right. And then I was like, it's something to do with like the Quagmire triplets getting sold at the auction, but I couldn't remember how they figured out that the Quagmire triplets were going to get sold at the auction, and then
Mhm.
and then they're there, and it was so incredible.
Absolutely. Why is Sunny number one?
Why something? Oh, because she climbed an elevator shaft with her teeth.
And then just said, fuck it, I'm good, and just like Hail Mary threw herself back.
Yeah, and Violet was like, climb back down, and she said, no.
See ya, absolutely not. I'm taking the express
Badass.
route.
Yeah. And it's like so often like Violet and Klaus are praised for being very clever, and it's like Sunny's just so fucking brave. Sunny got into a sword fight. Sunny and like Wide Window, she like got the keys from Count Olaf's assistant in the middle of a rainstorm. She's so brave. It's incredible.
I think it's really I kind an interesting viewpoint I've had on it is she's a really good representation that like even though like nobody expects you to do anything, like everyone just like writes her off because she's an infant. And like, you
Mm-hmm.
know, no one ever says what she's saying. And like the truth is like, no, they don't really know. Like in a realistic world, it's the book world and nothing in this world makes any sense. It's all a little
Right.
funky. It's all a little like sharp in a music sense. And
Yeah.
it's very very interesting and clever to kind of like express this theme of, you know, even if you're a helpless baby, there's always something you can do.
Right.
You just have to
Yeah.
like what like how can you apply your skills? It's like I don't know how. It's like, well, think about it. Think about like the action that you're doing or whatever. You know, she thinks about what needs to be bit or whatever and just goes for it.
It's raining right now. Can you hear
Oh
that?
no, I
It's
can't.
raining hard.
Oh, I'm envious, but it looks like it's been monsoon season, so.
Yeah, it's monsoon season, baby.
Ooh.
So if you hear like a knocking coming from me, that's
Mm.
it's rain.
Oh hell yeah.
Okay.
Uh, was there anything else that you had? Like before, like
Um,
a kind of open discussion, talk about whatever.
yeah. Yeah, before like chat Q&A, I do not have any else. I don't have anything else to add.
Yeah, well, like I guess we'll kind of like open it up to chat and like kind of just free form discussion because I do want to talk about Jerome, but
Mm-hmm.
like that could
Oh,
be interrupted is kind of the thing. I'm like we went over all the
yeah.
structured notes, so like the Jerome thing's the only thing I want to unpack.
Fucking
But
Jerome. Tell me about Jerome while we wait for any
yeah,
of
well,
us.
I want to read Katie's real quick. I love that they're all really smart in different ways. Klaus, he has an eidetic memory of every book he's ever read. Beatrice, very mechanically inclined. Sunny, very brave and observant, and they're all very good at adapting and overcoming their environment, which I think is amazing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's like
Yeah.
the take that you're just like. I mean, I don't know.
And
That's a take I got as a kid for sure.
yeah. I think they mesh well together, and I think that's nice that like it kind of avoids the general stereotype of like, oh, the smart character that a lot of books kind of like
Mm-hmm.
fall back on. And I think that's nice that they all are smart in their own ways and like clever. And it's never like
There isn't one type of
Klaus,
being way of being clever.
yeah. Klaus specifically isn't like pigeonholed as like the book smart character because it was like, well, they're all kind of like book smart, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like,
Different
yeah,
types of books, like you know, it's like a different app, like different types of intelligence, and like
hmm
I think it's what I like about the fact that the kids are like, yes, they are smart, like book smart, you know, well read, mechanically inclined, sharp teeth, baby, you know,
sharp teeth.
baby.
hmm
She or
They're all
like
smart.
yeah, they're all smart, but like they also like there's also clear flaws that they have, and like in the books and even what we've
Yeah,
seen up to here, we will get to see them flounder because they can't do the thing that they can do. And then we've also
right.
seen them flounder, but then say, fuck it, we'll just do what the other person would do.
Right, and I think it's very nice to see like Violet and Klaus specifically, how they kind of like lean on each other, where it's like I don't know how to build something because anything I've ever needed like built like Violet would do that, or like I've never really had to like
I've never
read
had
a
to
book
think of things
for
like that. Yeah.
right. Yeah, I've never had to like read a research book. I don't know where to even start because I've always relied on Klaus for that. And I think it's just a very nice way of like examining their characters and their dynamics that they like so clearly like rely on each other's like special not interests, but like specialties, I guess.
Yeah, it's like leaning on like it's that they're starting to grow and have that familial trust to like cover their weaknesses. Like that's what a real support system is. It's like, hey, like just because you can't, the other person will, and also starting to see like in their thought process, like, oh shit, like what would Violet do? What would Violet do? And then coming up with something versus like, oh, I read something about this. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. Like I think in Miserable Mill when
Yeah.
he like throws the gum and
Yeah.
is like, it's like, you know what? Like you're starting to be a bit more brave. We're starting to see that confidence and like showcasing the confidence in the lack of kind of flopping, like or like I don't know what the phrase is, but like flopping around, flopping around.
I don't know what you're getting at, but
Sorry, waffling. They're just going back and forth because they're so nervous. Yeah, waffling. That's the word.
okay.
And I'm just bad at words.
It's okay. We got there in the end.
I'm not a Klaus.
You're
So,
really much more of a Sunny.
oh, thank you.
Because you got them sharp teeth.
For
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, hey, what's up, Raven? How you doing? Great to see you. So Jerome, if you guys have any questions, now is the time for chat Q&A. So please go ahead and submit some questions. Like, we're like, if you're waiting for us to talk, like, it's like when I'm streaming. I'm filling time. So there's always something interesting.
Yeah, so that there's never a dull moment.
Mm-hmm. Jerome is the worst.
Fucking worst. I hate him.
Jerome
Just
is
like willfully
yeah.
put those kids in like harm's way and refuse to do anything because he doesn't want to argue. He doesn't want to get into it.
Oh yeah, like he's very he's the epitome of the like, you know, like he's like, I don't want to deal with the headache, like borderline like abuse victim, but also like he just also indiscriminately spends, thinks that just like buying things will be helpful. Like a lot of like the money solves your problem. Like you have all of your needs met, and it's like, well, yeah, all of my physical needs, but literally none of my like emotional
needs. Yeah.
Like I think you mentioned earlier, where it's like, a guardian does this, and this, and it's like, Jerome, you're right. I thought it was a really good take. Like, yeah, you were right. He literally just is like on paper, he's an amazing guardian.
He was friends with the kids' parents. He takes care of them. He's got enough money to raise 3 kids, which like is another thing. As like a kid, I didn't really understand how much money it would take to raise 3 kids.
It'd be
whatever.
They also were clearly had so much wealth that like it was never even an issue, that they could just afford to buy all this shit. To just, we're gonna do an auction where it just makes me money, and then everyone's still going to it.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't know. Or it's like, oh, they're joking. I don't know.
Katie asked,
Dad, I'm in the middle of recording.
So far.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your favorite book so far?
Austere Academy. Absolutely.
Okay, interesting. I think mine is still Wide Window.
Wide Window. Well, I mean, that makes sense. Because, like, those were,
It was so impactful to me. It meant so much.
The good.
And it's so good. It's so good.
I will say I have deepened my appreciation for it, for the Wide Window, since reading it again, and like realizing like how solid of a story it actually was. It's quick, like the timeline's quick, but it's good.
Yeah, all of these books so far have been super quick. Like there's no putzing around. Kids show up, Olaf shows up, bang pow boom.
It's the worst. And he doesn't even try this. He just his thing is that he he wears a monocle, I think,
Yeah.
and he has an accent.
Well, he's not really trying to get the Baudelaire orphans as much. His focus is kind of shifted to the Quagmire triplets, and also he has Esme to like bounce off of. So he can be
Oh,
a little
probably
bit
the
more
idea of like the kids are already being taken care of by like Esme. Like we've
by
got them in.
Esme.
We kind of already. They don't realize they've been trapped the entire time
Yeah.
by being in 667 Dark Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
So.
He's already won, as far as he's concerned.
Oh, what was your thoughts on the hook-handed man being the doorman?
I think that was bullshit.
I almost want to go back and reread it now because I want to find where he's at.
Yeah. They talk to him so much, and he's just like really nice to the kids, or at least like very like polite. And it's,
Which is like
I
curious.
yeah, which is like interesting. Also, it's interesting in the way that like we're starting to recycle his assistants, because the hook-handed man was his assistant in Reptile Room, and that was the last we saw him. So now we're getting repeats. We've gone through all of um Count Olaf's like assistants.
Yeah,
And now
the
we're
retinue.
yeah.
Which I think we will get to see the hook-handed man again in the the hostile hospital.
Hostile Hospital, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know who it is in Vile, but well, I do because I've been reading it. I don't know
Always
who it
absurd,
is.
Katie.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to break your train of thought.
No, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was thinking of like, well, what happens after Hostile Hospital, and that's Carnivorous Carnival.
Yeah, with
right?
the ice illusion and slippery slope, and then
Yeah.
Grim
So
Grotto.
I feel like things start to break down maybe a little bit after Hostile Hospital. Like the formula changes. I could be
Oh
wrong.
yeah, yes, I believe it does
So it's
solely because after Hostile Hospital, they like no longer are getting like guard. Like I think they're on their own
yeah.
on slippery slope.
Well, after Vile Village, they're on their own. They're on their own cell hospital
Oh,
and Carnivorous Carnival and all that stuff.
that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Interesting, and it's just you're right though, because I part of me's like the book guys. The books get really crazy. There's some weird shit, and it really is like the last handful of books is where all of the shit like you start to realize like there was a bunch of little breadcrumbs that we've been finding, and it's all gonna pay off in a way. So
yeah.
mm-hmm.
I'm excited. I'm excited to keep going.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, and like yeah. Oh, sorry.
I feel like we say that at like the end of every like book club. We're like, it's gonna get good. The next one's really good, and it's I feel like a testament to this series that I'm always so excited to read the next book.
Yeah,
And
like these are good.
Yeah, excited to see what happens next. And it's never like I'm disappointed or let down, except with maybe like Miserable Mill, where I was like, it was fine.
I didn't have high expectations. You know, it's like I don't expect them to like hold up as well. It's more of like I wonder what I'm gonna find. Like I'm going in with a purpose.
Yeah. So I've been having a lot of fun with these books, and I'm excited to continue our book club. And we're like halfway through because this is book 6 of 13, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
6 and 7. So we're about halfway.
Man, about halfway. And I mean, and that being said too, we also don't have to necessarily like be live again for the next one if we wanted to like do something this weekend, possibly to like kind of try to skip through the books a bit faster now that I've got like big stuff done. I don't know.
I couldn't do this weekend, but after Wednesday, we could do something that weekend.
Okay. Okay, we'll see.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We'll work it out.
Yeah. Well, Chad, did you guys have any questions? Anything else for Kayla and I before we wrap up our video here? Your choice.
Choice.
We gotta give him a sec because it's the delay.
Yeah, because of the delay. I can wait.
That's okay. You don't have to. I mean, you can do whatever you want. You don't have to go necessarily,
I'm
but
actually I'm gonna leave right now, actually, in the middle of it.
that's cool. I would expect
Yeah.
that, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you for bringing back my childhood memories of this book. Oh, of course, Katie.
Aw.
It's bringing back my memories for sure. What about you,
Me
Kim?
too. Yeah, for sure. I read these books when I was ittle, ittle bitty,
Small.
and I remember not necessarily like where I was, but like what I was thinking while reading the books, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I can't tell you where I lit like all of that, but it's like the moments of reading these books. That's like, oh, I get a flash to like chilling in a
Yeah.
Barnes and Noble reading this or something, or like some current relating to some current event in my life at the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Hell yeah. Uh, is there any one thing that you're the most excited to about in Vile Village?
In Vile Village. Um, s- let me think. Um, yeah, I don't remember where the telegram comes in. I'm pretty sure it's in that book. Or like I'm 100% sure. No, I
Because
don't.
isn't the telegram come at the hospital? Because the hospital has
Does
that
it?
weird inventory. Don't they have to order things with the hospital? I don't remember. It's one of them. It's like you or they
It's
don't they have
one
to
of
buy
them.
shit from a catalog or something?
There's like a general store and yeah, I don't remember. I don't
Yeah,
remember enough
it'll be
because
fun
it's
to
also
remember
hard
and find it out.
because I've started Vile Village already because I got so into it and you gave me permission.
But
So,
yeah, no. It's like, and a little bit of that is like to help me kind of like be quicker about it too. Like I've started to pick up on like being proactive just saves me all the stress, and now I'm like, don't hem and haw over the audiobook. Just go for it if
mhm.
it's faster. So
So I have stuff that I've gotten to already in the book that I'm excited to talk about with or that
mhm,
excited to talk to you about.
got it.
You know what I
So
mean?
I understand.
You know
So
what I
you
mean.
have stuff for next time ready to go.
I do.
Hell yeah. Well, then I will look forward to it. Please, once again, thank you everybody in chat for hosting
Mm-hmm.
or for welcoming me and my Kale here, my co-host
It's me.
for the Baudelaire Book Club, and that's it. Or Stats Elevator.
Mhm.
Out of 10, how would you rate it?
Out of 10, or probably like 8 out of 10. Pretty high.
Yeah, I felt comfortable at about an 8. Like it's a real solid, good one. Lots of good twists and turns.
Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
good. I
I
liked it.
There's orphans in it.
There's many orphans,
Mm-hmm.
actually.
Sometimes, yeah, yeah. There
There's an
is.
orphan on every page, yeah.
Oh, oh no! Is that allowed? So thank you guys so much, and I appreciate it. See you guys on the next one.